Welcome, everyone. I'd like to call to order the City of Cape May's Historic Preservation Commission. It is July 21st at 6:02 p.m. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. If any member has reason to believe that this meeting is being held in violation of this act, they should state so at this time. Hearing none, everyone will please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Liberty and justice for all. So, Brian, could we have a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Mr. Becker.
Here.
Mr. Testa.
Here.
Mr. Carroll.
Here.
Ms. Pisagno.
Here.
Ms. Wilson-Striddick.
Here.
Mr. Stevenson.
Here.
Mr. Hammerin.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Kurtz. Here. Thank you.
Okay. As most of you know, we have held three, in fact, HPC alignment workshops this year, and at the very first one, we all aligned around what is the real purpose of our work at the core of what we're trying to do in our community. And we came up with a written purpose statement to express that. So in order to establish, let's call it the energy in the room this evening, I'd like to ask Steve if he'd be willing to read us the purpose statement of why we're here.
Sounds great. Purpose statement for HPC's work: to serve as a catalyst for guiding and valuing Cape May's historical, cultural, and natural resources in ways that inspire and unite our community to steward these resources for the benefits of all, so that present and future generations continue to express the unique quality of life in this place that we love.
Indeed, we do love it, yes? Thanks, Steve. Yep. Okay. Karen has sent to all of us the minutes from our last meeting held on June 16th. Has everybody had a chance to review those? Any comments before I ask for a motion to approve them? I have one. Brian, regarding Carney's Incorporated at 419 Beach Avenue, there was a motion for approval conditional upon spandrel brackets to the, never mind. I didn't think it said first floor, but it does, so never mind. So I would like to entertain a motion for approving the minutes as written.
You did mention only one set of minutes. There are two up.
Yes, we'll get that. Okay? So
I move for the first one.
you move to approve the minutes? Moved by Mr. Carroll. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Ms. Wilson-Striddick. Roll call vote, please, Brian.
Yeah, sorry. Give me 1 second here.
And I'm sorry, I also stand corrected. This is for the May 15th, 2025 meeting minutes. So just clarify, are we still,
You're
never
pushing
mind.
me into-
Nope, I'm right.
to some
Never mind, June 16th, yep, June 16th, yep.
June 9th and 16th.
Yeah.
We agree it's June 9 and
9th.
June 16.
Correct, but I wanted to do one at a time.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So June 16th. Roll call vote, please.
Sure. Mr. Carroll.
Yes.
Ms. Pisagno.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson-Striddick.
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson.
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin.
Yes.
Mr. Testa.
Yes.
Mr. Becker.
Yes.
Thank you.
And there's also the June 9th meeting minutes from our special meeting. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve those minutes, please.
I'll move.
Moved by Mr. Hammerin. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Pisagno. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll.
Yes.
Ms. Pisagno.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson-Striddick.
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson.
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin.
Yes.
Mr. Testa.
Yes.
Mr. Becker.
Yes. You were also distributed an invoice from Gillen Schwartz Law, LLC, for services rendered to our commission. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the payment of that bill.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by, excuse me,
The fellow to
moved by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Carroll.
Yes.
Mr. Carroll.
Yes.
Ms. Pisagno.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson-Striddick.
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Hamrin? Yes. Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Thank you.
We have 4 resolutions for ratification. The first is Jagandison at 918 Columbia Avenue, Block 1089, Lot 8, Resolution 2025-23. City of Cape May, 830 Canning House Lane, Block 1061, Lot 139, Resolution 2025-24. Avu LLC at 6 Second Avenue, Block 1012, Lot 15.01, Resolution 2025-25. And last, 1537 Yacht Avenue LLC, 1537 Yacht Avenue, Block 1160, Lot 24, Resolution 2025-26. I'd like to entertain a motion to ratify those resolutions.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Carroll, seconded. Seconded by Mr. Stevenson. Roll call vote, please, Brian.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Ms. Pisagno?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson-Stritick?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Hamrin?
Yes.
Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on to applications approved or denied in review. I would like to note there is one that is missing from the list that I would like to add into the record, and that is Atlantic City Electric at 1045 Beach Avenue to replace the light pole. Therefore, I'd like to request a motion to approve. Oh,
Can I make one
Yes, please,
adjustment?
Kevin.
If you look at Church of Our Lady of the Sea, 500-502 Lafayette Street, it's actually not a rooftop condenser. Remember, it was in the backyard in a service yard.
thank you for that clarification. Did you get that, Brian? Church of Our Lady of the Sea, the condenser is not a rooftop condenser, so we just need to strike rooftop. I'll show you. Thank you, Kevin. Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve or ratify these applications that have been approved or denied in review.
I'll move to approve them.
Okay? Second?
And I'll second the motion.
Moved by Ms. Wilson-Stritick, seconded by Mr. Testa. Brian, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Ms. Pisagno?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson-Stritick?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Hamrin?
Yes, with one extension. I'm sorry, I have to defer on this one. It's Zakaria, 1018 Washington Street. I live too close to it.
Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to applications. We have a representative here, please, from the City of Cape May regarding 210 Beach Avenue.
Good evening, everyone.
Please state your name.
Paul Dietrich, City Engineer and City Manager for Cape May City.
Thank you.
We're here this evening to request a recommendation. We're submitting for a project authorization to construct a renovation to the lifeguard headquarters at 210 Beach Avenue here in the city. And for that, we need the Commission's recommendation. This property is not within the historic district, though it is obviously within the National Historic Landmark area within the city, and therefore we need your recommendation to make an application to the State Historic Preservation Office for authorization. We kind of had two design parameters when looking at the lifeguard headquarters renovation. You may or may not have seen several years ago some presentation plans came forth, and I think lifeguard headquarters was going to be expanded in many directions, and that was kind of not thought positively by the community. So we took some time to relook at it. So one of the key design parameters of this project was not to expand its vertical footprint or the footprint to the east or the footprint to the west. So obviously when you have those kind of limitations, you're fairly restricted. And oh, by the way, a further restriction after we've been met and consulted with the NJDEP, they don't really want us to increase the footprint in the other direction onto the beach. So we are very restricted on where we can go. And oh, by the way, we can't encroach any more out onto the promenade. So you say, well, Paul, if I can't go to the north, to the south, to the east, or to the west, how am I doing a renovation? I'm glad you asked. That's why I'm here this evening, and this is what, between myself and Robert Conley, our architect, the city architect, came up with, and really the paramount need for this is, over the years, our female lifeguard population has grown to where probably 20 years, if we asked, we probably had lifeguards on one hand as far as female guards. Now we're close to 50-50 population, between male and female guards. And if you've toured the facilities are woefully inadequate in having adequate facilities for the female guards. They're just too crammed in there, and they just don't have enough space in there. So it's a paramount that we came up with a solution, and I think the architect did a great job at coming up with the solution. If you look at the photo array that I submitted, I'm going to kind of talk you through with it from the pictures first, and then we'll look at it on the plan view. If you look at the second set of pictures, where it says C and D, the C is the front or the street side elevation, and D is the east side elevation. So if you're looking at the east side elevation, if you see where the handicap ramp comes up on the east side, we're going to remove that handicap ramp on that side. And then the area where the handicap ramp would continue along the front of the building, we're going to use that space and bump the building out to where the handicap ramp is. So therefore, we're not encroaching any further onto the promenade. If you go to the previous photo, if you look at the west side elevation, we will move the handicap ramp onto that side elevation. So that is, I'll say, the one location where, to a slight degree, are we encroaching to the, I'll say, the vista. If you're standing on the Beach Avenue and looking towards that, are we increasing its width? Yes, but it's only a handicap ramp, and it's already blocked for the railing, so we feel that that's a minor encroachment to that side. Also, from a impact from the DEP, we feel what we originally set out to do, this is a much less impact on the environment. Now, when you look at the rear elevation that's above it, where the existing deck sits today, there's pile supports underneath of the outer edge of that deck. So what we're anticipating going is extending the wall out to that edge of where the existing deck is, and then we're going to cantilever out from that a new walkway deck that would be along that full width. So in sense, we are expanding that way, but we're not putting a new penetration on the beach with piling, so we feel that it will comply with the DEP rules. So how does this look in plan? So if you look at the first plan sheet, A1, it kind of gives you the photo arrows. So you can see where on the left-hand side, we're going to remove that handicap ramp. You can see that strip of lockers that is in the women's locker room, that will kind of be where the existing handicap ramp is. The remainder of the front of the building will remain the same, except you can see as you approach the right side that's where the ramp will be. The handicap ramp will go around, so anybody that would need handicapped assistance access into the building, they will actually enter the building in the rear of the building, not in the front. There is no way with the slopes and everything to be able to get handicap ramp up to those front steps without having to put the steps out into the promenade, which was a design criteria that we couldn't impose upon. So now you look at the back elevation, the beach elevation, the steps that you see there are the existing steps. So we're going to reconstruct, we may redeck the steps, but the steps where they're shown in that location are the steps where they stand. So we're not increasing that encroachment of the steps. you can see where the building is bumped out. If you see on the left-hand side, there's a set of lockers and that office. On the interior side, that is the existing exterior wall of the lifeguard building. So that's, where the men's locker room will extend out. That will be a new office. And then on the right-hand side of that area, the existing chief's office will be expanded, and then the crew meeting room will be expanded out to the new line. So that's how the extension is. If you look at the men's and women's facilities, each of them have 4 showers, each of them have 4 restroom facilities to go in. So, from a square footage, the men's locker room just is slightly larger just because of the configuration of how the building was laid out, but they're essentially equal in size as far as the number of lockers and facilities that each are going to provide. As far as the exterior, the existing building has hardy siding, AZAC trim, vinyl windows, asphalt shingle roofs. All of that will be replaced to match the existing structure. And I think that, in summary, is what we're looking to do. I think, given the unique location, being on the promenade, there are no other structures within several hundred feet of this, or probably within 3 or 4 blocks to the east or west of this building. It's outside the historic district, and it's an existing, I won't even say it's really considered a non-rated building because it has not been surveyed to be non-contributing. However, I'm sure if it was surveyed, it would be attributed as a non-contributing structure within the city.
Thank you, Paul. Mr. Hammerin, have you any comments or questions?
No questions.
Ms. Pisagno?
None.
Mr. Stevenson?
I think you've done the least amount of change possible, so commend you for that.
I didn't look at the elevation, but if you look at the next 2 sheets that show the elevation views, it's really, as far as the amount of square footage that we did increase, the restrooms, the shower facilities for both of the facilities, it's about as limited of a profile impact to the building as you could make.
I do have one question, I'm sorry. I noticed that in the women's locker room, there are 4 lavatories. Are 2 of them for public use, for the beachgoers or people who come for?
No, these are all, just like as today, the neither of them are really open to the public.
Thanks.
Yep,
That's
Janice?
all I have.
It looks fine.
thank you.
I think it's kind of like a stealth expansion in the sense that you have to look, except for the move-in of the handicap ramp, which logical, and the only thing you have to look hard to find out what the changes are. It isn't the slightest bit intrusive or offensive to the streetscape. So it just really preserves things and expands in a practical way that you had to do it.
On page A3, as you've bumped that building out, you are kind of creating a mass that faces over a pedestrian way, whereas we like to have things look a little bit more friendly. You do need some signage that would things like water temperature, safety, things like that. That could be a good area to actually have some well-designed postage about use of the beach and things. It would slow traffic down when the promenade gets its narrowest, but I still think that would be a great place to just fill that area in a little with.
We could look at doing something there.
Even some things about historic bathing on our beaches could be of interest to people. When Newfoundlands used to be lifeguards rather than human beings, there's all kinds of interesting things about life on the beach.
Lorraine?
Well done project. Long overdue, I think, for the ladies.
Just have one question. The spiral stair is up now to an expanded viewing platform.
Yes, I forgot to mention that. So there's a small, I'll probably say 8x8 platform that's up
In the middle.
in the middle.
Yeah.
The viewing platform will essentially be that area in the deck that we've expanded out. That'll have a flat roof on top, So that will then have the entire stretch of the building as a viewing deck up there. But we'll be using the same spiral staircase to access that
Got
location.
it. Additional safety measure, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, great. So, I'd like to entertain a motion.
So we need to make a motion for a favorable advisory report on this project, so I'll make that motion. Only question I have about it is, do you want to incorporate any of your suggestions in the advisory report? These are issued as a written report, and we make sometimes suggestions in it. So you
I
want
don't
to-
think we need to include them.
Okay.
But I would be happy to make suggestions as this project, even some things like, these were the rules in 1890, the women's bathing hours, the men's bathing hours, no skin can be seen. I think people would really find it kind of fascinating.
I like that idea, and I agree that that is kind of I'll say a blank area on that facade that's kind of not broken up right now, so I
We
think.
can leave it to the city to decide to
We
use
can-
on the facade what it'd like to put on, but I'll make a motion for the issuance by this commission of a favorable advisory report to the city on the project,
As presented.
as presented.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
Okay, so moved by Mr. Testa, seconded by Ms. Pasagno. Roll call, please, Brian.
Mr. Carroll.
Yes.
Ms. Pasagno.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson Strittick.
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson.
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin.
Yes.
Mr. Testa.
Yes.
Mr. Becker.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
thank you. Okay, moving on to our next application. Do we have representatives here from 925 Corgi, Tarosky? Welcome back. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have to recuse myself.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kurtz. So do I. Mr. Johnson, thank you. We still have more than a quorum. So if you could please introduce yourselves by stating your name and your address, please.
My name is Donald Kucharowski Sr., 925 40th Street.
And you are owner of the property, yes? Great.
Gentlemen, sorry to interrupt. If you could just hit the button on your mics, and make sure they're turned on, bring them nice and close.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you,
Wanna
sorry.
Do it again or not? Okay.
So, gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Well, we were here in May of 2025. We presented our plans. We had recommendations from the board, the committee, and I think we answered all of those recommendations. Met with commission in June of 16th, I think, no, June 10th.
June 10th.
And presented the plans, and it was favorably recommended to the board, and we're here now with the same plans. So,
Revised. Yeah. Do you want us to run through the notes?
I don't think you need to unless anybody needs clarification. You were very, very clear and comprehensive in your submission, listing all of the conditions we had asked about, and you addressed all of them from my perspective. So rather than going around the room, does anybody have any questions or comments about this application? I have one.
okay.
So when you look at Kevin, did you have one? Okay. So when you look at the elevation that has the triangular pediment in it, right now it's just shown as a blank triangle. All I would ask is just a revised elevation that shows how that's actually going to be constructed, because it doesn't indicate a material or the trim that's going to be necessary to receive the roofing material.
Gotcha.
That's it?
Yep.
Yep. So we can approve this, or entertain a motion to approve it, with the condition that you just submit that additional drawing to us. And the reason for that is because our field inspector will want to make sure that in the field, he's verifying what it is exactly that we approved.
Okay.
Okay? It's a clarification.
Got it.
All right, Matt?
All right.
It's him.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Okay.
Just one other question.
Oh, please.
The new addition of the porch in the back, you're not proposing a railing system in that. So there is a rule about how high a porch can be. Are you within that
Yes.
boundary line?
I think
Okay.
the limit is 32 inches, we're 26 inches.
Yes, okay, fine, wonderful.
Good, that's excellent. I think the code requires a 30-inch maximum before you have a railing required. Your drawings say 36, so you just might want to correct that, too. Okay?
Yeah, There's 26.
I was going to say, if there is a problem, some people overcome that by just making a little bit of a flower bed below it, bringing that up a little bit to not need that railing system. Particularly when the railing systems that are required are now block your view of everything, so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve this project?
Motion?
Moved by Mr. Stevenson, second?
Well, you're going to have to make it conditional right upon submission of the.
Correct. So,
additional drawings.
so your motion is conditional upon submitting that elevation, correct?
What Jim said.
No, what he said.
Or- what you-
I think we're all in alignment.
Yes.
Okay, so do I hear a second? Great, so moved by Mr. Stevenson, seconded by Mr. Hamrin. Roll call vote, please, Brian.
Mr. Carroll.
Yes.
Ms. Pasagno.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson Striddick.
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson.
Yes.
Mr. Hamrin.
Yes.
Mr. Testa.
Yes.
Mr. Becker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. And it was nice working with you, Matt, as we chatted a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. How did I screw that up? Thank you, guys.
John,
Having a rough night up here, I'll tell you.
it's not going to get better.
No. All right, so moving on to our next application, Mortimer at 448 West Perry Street. Good evening.
Good evening.
So if you could please state your name and your address and your role on the project, please.
Sure.
And just press the little button so you have a green light on your microphone.
My name is Pamela Fine. I am the project architect. My address is 179 County Road in Cape May Courthouse, New Jersey.
My name is Michael Mortimer. I am the son of the parents that are on the deed. My primary address is 1288 Bridal Estates Drive in Yardley, PA.
Okay?
And Anne Marie Birmingham, the daughter of the estate.
So you two are representing the owners, correct?
Siblings, yes.
We're
Got it.
And my address is 1183 Stonegates Turn, Garnet Valley, PA.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm sorry, ma'am, could I get your name again?
Anne Marie
Anne Marie, last name?
Birmingham. Brittingham.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Great. Okay, so I'll start. I want to give a quick little history about the property and when I got involved, because I have some limited knowledge about what existed prior. So I'm going to touch on what has been done. So there was a existing front stair and landing that you can see in the historic property report. It's kind of covered, it's on the left side of the house off of West Perry Street. There was what looks like a set of stairs off to the left that landed on a small landing at the corner of the house, with another set of stairs that then go back to another landing at the top where there was a door. That stair and landing is gone. There was, from what I'm told, extensive rot. It was falling down. It needed a repair. So that was removed, and a new landing and stair was in the process of being built. I am then called because there are no permits. So they need a variance, and they need HPC approval. So the reason why I say that is I don't really know what was there. I don't know the size of the landings, the proportions, things like that. The best of my knowledge is on this photograph. So what I did was I measured what's there, and you'll see that in my packet later on the I believe it's P5? Yes. So P5 is what the house looks like now, and that's where I began. So the front landing you see is rough framed. We have a couple of posts. It's a larger deck area, I'll call it, and it extends beyond the front wall of the house, about roughly 2 feet, plus or minus. There was going to be a set of stairs that go back towards the back of the property off of that deck. You'll see that drawn in my floor plan. So if you bounce back to P2, where I have the proposed floor plans, you'll see that deck shown as it was rough framed with the stair that was intended to be built shown. That stair is an L-shaped stair. We have a small landing. So it's basically the same general idea, but the new deck is considerably larger than the couple of landings that were previously there on the home. Also, tonight, we're here to ask for approval to build a new rear deck. You'll see it's a larger rear deck with a new set of scissor stairs. Everything will be made out of wood, and we are also proposing replacing a window with a slider door. You'll see that on the proposed first floor plan. And if you go back down to the ground floor plan, which is right next to it, you'll see we're also proposing changing out the overhead door with a pair of hinge doors, which are also made of wood. The slider, if we bounce back to that, that would be a Geldwin, all wood, non-clad, pre-primed. Like I said, pressure-treated wood decking on all of the surfaces, wood railing. I have a detail later on in the packet. We have some privacy screens underneath a portion of the front deck and also the rear landing. That would also be made of wood. Let's see if I missed anything. I think that about covers it.
Okay, thank you very much. So, thank you for the clarification of the sort of inconsistencies between what the property report shows and the deck that's floating there now. And you will be going before zoning because the existing setback to that deck is non-conforming, correct?
Yes, so if this is approved tonight as it's drawn, we'd be asking for a front yard setback
Good.
variance.
So you're here for a conceptual review, then you'll go to zoning and come back to us for final, is that correct?
Exactly, yes.
Okay. So moving around the room, Steve, please, if you could start us off.
So just to summarize, what we're talking about tonight is we've got the deck that is in transition, or being rebuilt, I guess, right? And then the existing back deck is going to be removed and rebuilt?
Yes.
And just help me understand, I think you said this, but how much bigger is the new deck going to be in the back compared to what's there?
Let me see. I should have measurements in my file.
While you're looking, Ms. Fine?
Yeah.
Just to confirm, the back portion, you're not looking or anticipating any zoning relief for that part of it, right? Just the front?
Right, that's correct. So everything that we're proposing in the rear of the property is allowed. Setbacks, coverages, they all comply. So it's really just for that front deck area. So the existing deck right now is about 10 foot front to back by 7'4" left to right. And we are proposing 17 by 12, yes.
Okay. And to clarify, it's tough to see on the elevation. There isn't plans to have parking or anything under the deck, is there?
No parking under the deck, no.
Any other questions?
Not
Steve?
for me.
Mr. Kurtz?
I'm kind of looking at P6. I like the streetscape with the new front deck on it compared to what it looks like now. I mean, you look down the street, it looks porch, 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 somebody's back of the house. I think the front porch is a great idea, as well as the rear.
Thank you.
I'm looking at sheet P2, and I think Steve had asked a question as far as you're not going to be able to pull a car through, but it does say existing garage area under proposed ground floor plan. Is that just going to be storage?
If I may, no, it's not meant to be storage. It's just an area where you come in the door, and it's just, because the living area is on the second floor.
Right.
It's an area to come in. It's not meant to be storage per se. You just come in the house, and it was never going to be a garage because there's no driveway up to it.
Okay.
Just making it look nicer. Instead of having a garage door, I'll have the
I can change the wording, just so
Okay,
it says
I just wanted
storage.
to make sure that it, just to clarify that.
Right.
A little bit.
Garage or
Okay.
storage.
Because you can enter from the back side of that
And to the left,
property.
you're looking at the back, to the left, there's a door, yeah.
Okay, and is that how you enter the property currently, through the,
It's the only way right now.
okay, okay, yeah, just to clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you. Tom?
I'm looking at P2. As much as we love to see porches in the front of the house, they're usually freestanding in front of the house. The one you're proposing looks like an extension of the front of the house, but it comes out a little bit further. Could that be even with the front of the house and just take that little bit off there and make it look sort of a little bit more like a front side porch and not jutting out any further?
I think we'd be open to that. That was an idea that we kind of tossed around early on. I believe from what the photograph showed, the old photograph, it looked like the landing was proud of the wall originally. So that was what we were going with. But pulling that new construction back will help with the variance process. So I think we'd be open to that.
Yeah, because the leading edge of that deck is already in place. as it
Yes.
stands. Yes, okay, got it.
Well, I guess that's where I begin with my question. How did that deck leading edge get to be extant? It just got built without permits, without application to HPC? Is that what happened?
Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. The deck was rotting, as we talked about,
Yeah.
and so I had it pulled off, and I just figured, well, I'm staying within where the other deck. I started having it done, thinking
Let me start with the positive. I think the materials here are fine. Pam has specified everything that would go into what we would require for the house. I think all the rest of it, the back, for example, I don't have a problem with. What I do have a problem with is that this is a contributing structure. And we're about to add something. And you know, here's the difficulty. I like what I see in terms of its creativity. I don't like the fact that it's on the front of a contributing structure and it's of substantial size to be considered, I guess, a porch, maybe a small addition. That's my problem. It changes the front of the structure, and that gives me a lot of pause and concern. I know it's useful, it looks fine as one would see it from an objective standpoint, but I believe that that causes some detriment to the contributing status of the property, even though you've improved it in my personal judgment. So those are my comments.
Thank you. Janice?
I really don't know what to say about this building. I walk by it all the time. It has a nice character. It's kind of an attractive building. And when I looked at the pictures, I could see a door had been taken and a window had been replaced. And these are all things that we need to review, so that's an issue. I don't really have any ideas or changes. It's kind of an enigma structure for me. So I'm just going to put that out there.
I tend to agree with some of the other members have said about it. It really does change the symmetry from the streetscape of this contributing building. And, my opinion would be like kind of bring it back to the dimensions of the previous stairway. Because there is a very large deck on the back, and, is this really necessary on the front that changes the look of a contributing building?
I too love this building. It's been there. It's just very, very unusual, different. I would agree with everyone else that we have to stay more in line with what is required of a contributing building. But I have to say, I very much like the proposed left side. I think it looks nice, but it could be not as wide. I tore these out so I could match previous and existing.
I want to go, I share the same concerns as Mr. Testa. I want to go through the kind of the arrangements here. So in the property report, since it's a contributing building, that entry or porch or what have you on the left side of the building, how did that work? there's a set of stairs that's in the picture. So it went up straight to the deck, is that?
It looks like an L-shaped, where it had a set of stairs that hit an intermediate landing, turned towards the rear, had another set of stairs, and then landed on another small landing. These are probably only like 3 or 4 foot wide landings, I'm thinking.
Okay, and then how wide was the deck?
Probably the same.
About 3 feet,
Yeah,
4 feet, something.
there might be some like phantom, shadows left from where it was attached that I might be able to measure to.
Okay, so then in the existing floor plan, that's SU2, it's now a deck, but you don't show a stair going up to it.
Right, there's nothing constructed,
It's
yeah.
just you access it essentially from the sunroom.
It's a framed, incomplete deck right now.
Then I think, and is that intended then to become the entrance to the house?
Yes.
Okay, then I think I would agree with you. I think I would try to restore the house to as close to what it originally looked like, with the, the steps going up directionally, the smaller deck, to try to not compromise the contributing status of the house. I mean, that's our primary objective, is protecting the contributing statuses of the houses. So I think as close as you can get back to that original, the better off.
Okay.
Puts it on you.
I'm sorry?
I said it puts it on you now.
Oh, yeah.
It's you.
Okay. So from what I can tell here, based upon the property report, it appears that the leading edge towards the street of that deck is in alignment with what would have been the leading edge towards the street of the prior stair before that was removed because it was rotted and the new deck
Yes,
platform installed. Is that accurate?
yes.
Okay. So what's really fascinating to me is that from the property report, which was done in 2011, it states that it appears as if that whole front mass was an enclosed porch. But it's odd because it also says that from the historic maps, there's no identification of that as a porch, even though it has that look. I'm talking about the main mass on the front of the house. So I don't think we can really comment on that. But what's also fascinating is it literally says a wood entrance stair with a plain wood balustrade and top landing is located at the northeast corner of the building, and it's still qualified as being contributing. So what that tells me is that we would be in no jeopardy of losing the contributing status based upon this statement in the prior property report if what was there was replicated. However, with that said, I don't think that's your only option. So I'll go back to a comment. So I think that's clearly an option. So you've already, I think, brought forth that you would be willing to at least remove that leading edge back to no further projecting towards the street than the front facade of the house, correct?
Yes.
I think that would probably help you in 2 ways. One is with regard to this property report, and second would be, of course, obviously with regard to zoning. So the other option that would be really kind of fun to talk about, maybe we can chat about it on a Tuesday morning, is what Tom was proposing. In that, is there any way, well, let me ask you this. How do you plan on using that deck? Just not that that has an implication on our decision, but it would help me think about maybe a suggestion that might help you accomplish what it is you're trying to do.
I mean, it's not meant to be like a porch where people hang out.
Okay.
Maybe have a chair if you want to sit there in the morning, but it's really meant to just give it wider access to make it more functional, to get furniture in the house and just different things, which is problematic at the moment. So-
Okay, so it appears from what we can tell from the property report photograph, although it's unclear because it's just one very limited parallax angle, that the existing stairway that was removed was just a stairway, or was there a small paused deck there at that landing? Do you remember?
I don't know if I would call it a deck. It was just a couple steps that went up to a landing.
Yep.
And then towards the house, then hug the house steps going up to another landing that was the size of this.
Yep,
size of
got
the
it.
table, and then into the house.
So there wasn't really a deck there?
No.
It was purely vertical circulation access. And that's what it appears to say in this property report. So replicating that likely wouldn't be an issue for us. However, if it is something that functionally you would like to improve to be able to put a piece of furniture out there and have access to the street in the morning, cup of coffee, whatever, I wonder whether or not you would consider putting a roof on this, in a way that would make it appear as if it actually were a porch addition that would not have been that unusual to occur over a period of time. Just asking.
So how would the roof look?
Well, it's
trying to figure
complicated.
that out.
No. So that's why I was saying we could
Yeah.
maybe chat this through on a
Yeah.
Tuesday. So I'm only asking that or suggesting that if it's important to you to have a space that you can occupy on a deck on the front of the house. Because a deck on the front of the house is not the same thing as a porch on the front of a house, right?
Can I ask a question? Does it
Sure.
have to be a hard roof, or can it be like an awning style? I'm not.
Clearly not an awning.
Not an awning, okay.
No.
Pergola?
Maybe. So the roof form here is really challenging,
Mm-hmm.
so, but you're a very skilled architect. I mean, you can figure out ways to resolve that, right? Yeah.
See.
So I would just offer, from my perspective, and I'm only one person up here, I think you have two options. One is to explore if you think it's important to you to have a deck that you would like to be able to occupy as opposed to just a piece of vertical circulation, AKA a stair, or just go back to the stair as Kevin was proposing. And you don't really have to answer
Well,
that right
I mean,
now.
we can do this, by, I mean, if we're going to wind up passing on this for conceptual approval, you can do the conceptual approval and give you the ability to work on that one element. And obviously, I'll come back for final.
Yeah.
Right, so there could be
Exactly.
time for you to work on that. I'd make one observation, and that is since the survey was taken, and since the streetscape photo was shown to us, there's been significant growth of foliage.
Can't see it.
And one of the things that, although John doesn't want me to talk about foliage as cover being permanent, but one of the things it does is it does, in fact, reduce the view
Yeah.
of what's going on back
Talk
there.
about the holly bush?
Well, that thing that's grown since the first picture to the second streetscape picture. And in my judgment, it gives you a little more flexibility to do something on that side. That's all I was.
I was actually going to point out that it looks like a tree now.
Well, it is.
does.
And so
Yeah.
to
It's
remove it,
massive.
you actually have to go to the Shade Tree Commission. You know, So
Right.
Luck with
be
that.
careful with what you're doing here.
So by the way, what Kevin says is quite accurate, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're going to remove any tree, it is, and it's right now in our application that if you're planning on removing a tree, this will require Shade Tree Commission approval as well.
Tree stand.
Got it. Okay.
We decorate.
Fair enough.
As you know, it's the parade route. We decorate that
Oh,
tree,
right.
and it's a big hit. You would
Yeah.
think it's, people stop and make comments.
I just wanted to also make a suggestion. If you do follow the roof idea, that you do it like with a similar slope as to the main structure and also with the exposed rafter tails.
Yep.
So that it would blend in, like it would make it look older, rather than a
Right.
portico, which is kind of,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
kind of
I
modern.
I have to
But in that, I'm sorry. I got some-
I have to point out one thing, and that's, you know, the old property report would certainly be a document that anybody would examine if they construct a new and updated one. I have to be honest, I would be opposed to the roof design. And my reasoning for that is simply that it isn't clear what that porch deck looks like. It's not clear, but it is clear there's a set of steps. So I think almost anything you do that replicates that would probably be okay, and I think it would, you know, certainly protect the contributing status. Once you start introducing other elements, you start raising the question of, wait a minute, is that something different and new, and, you know, is that consistent with the house? So I would just have to say, you know, we always go, we're all one vote, and, you know, I am only one vote
Well,
as
you
well.
see it as one
I see
option.
it as-
You see it as one option.
I see it as one option,
Yeah,
not two.
okay.
But also to go back to my statement about it being an enigma, there may be some documentation, some photographs.
It might
I
be.
mean, It seems like the house has changed since it was originally built. And that's why it's a little bit confusing now. So that's an option too, because if you can document what you're trying to do, then we're thrilled. And you don't have to restore a house to its original look. If there's a time period where it was in use and it had a porch, and there's a picture of that, then you're basically taking it to that period.
Right.
And that's likely to be fine.
And Janice is using, I think, an appropriate word here. It is an enigma, because the house doesn't really have a front entrance.
Right.
It just doesn't, right? So the idea of giving it some sort of structure that returns a front entrance to it, I think would not in any way impede its ability to remain as a contributing structure so long as it was compatible with that existing structure and in compliance with our standards. So, turning it back to you, how would you like to proceed?
Are we pulling it into a line? Is that a,
We'll definitely can pull it into the
we're going
line.
to pull it into a line?
Pull it into the line. And the question is are
The
we talk-
roof?
The roof or the options?
Right,
Yeah.
or
If we
no
did the
roof?
roof option, are we leaving the current platform as it sits today, not completed the same dimension?
No.
No.
So you have to just simply bring it back to something that approximates the appearance of
Kevin?
the property.
Thank you.
I always forget this. Yeah, you know, essentially, no, you can change the, kind of the depth or width or, you know, a bit. I mean, not usually so, but certainly bring it back to something that looks like it functionally worked the same as what we see in the property report. Because that's the document that shows the oldest photo that we know of, and it has the best description of the property. So essentially, we're trying to get back to that, if you will, or something beyond it, as Janice mentioned. If you find a photograph of this thing from, let's say, the 30s or 20s, great. I mean, that's even better to try to look to that.
So I would suggest you have three options at this point.
Yeah.
And that might not be all of them, but there are at least three. One is we could table this right now and not make any sort of motion about it, and that would just simply ask of you to give a 45-day extension to the current timeline that was ticked when you provided the application. That's option one. Option two is we could entertain a motion this evening to approve conceptually putting a stair back, or we could approve conceptually putting a deck back, and in both cases, it would be conditional upon representing a revised scheme, and then, of course, the option is open to you, regardless of our motion, to come and chat on Tuesday morning, and we can figure it out. What do you guys, what would be preferable to you?
Just make a comment on that, and
Yeah.
that is that if they leave this board with conceptual approval, but for the options we've talked about, that really means the rest of the project has received a conceptual approval, and that could be helpful in your presentation in terms of the further action you have to have made when you go for your variance.
No, it's a good point, because what,
I mean, you'll carry a written statement from us saying the project was conceptually approved, and whoever is looking at it will know
Right.
that you've done that.
because the project's not limited to just that front deck. There's also
Right.
the back deck and the door and the window, right, right,
So,
right.
I mean, I would suggest for you that the conceptual approval is the better way
Yes.
to go tonight.
We're
rather
not
than
going to,
table the issue.
right, we're
It'll
not
expedite
going
the
to
process.
board until we have conceptual, for sure.
Can I
John? Oh, sorry, Chris, go ahead, please.
just trying to streamline things maybe a little bit for the applicant to make a decision here? You could leave with the conceptual, you know that it's, and I'm looking at a Google Maps photo of 2022 of a side profile of what's there, and you know from your memory, but there's a reference point here. We know, like, I'm looking at it right now, what it is. And the board would give you conceptual tonight. It sounds like they would have to take a vote first, but just to bump that, make sure that stair replicates what was there before, what I'm looking at right now probably, and then is flush with the front of the building as it exists now. That's probably going to help you with the zoning board as a practical matter, and it gives everybody some finality as to what's going to go on in this site. That's going to help you with the board too, rather than, you know, well, we talked about this concept, but we haven't flushed it out. So you could leave with that probably tonight if they want to take a vote. The other thing is, if you wanted to table it to explore these other concepts, we would just ask that you table it indefinitely until you tell us which way you're going to go. That process doesn't take a whole lot of time. We act pretty fast in comparison to the zoning. The zoning board, you have to do the 200-foot notice, you have to do the publication here. You meet with these guys on a Tuesday morning, you may get a better sense of it, and you say, you know what, next month I want to be throwing on, we've decided a course. So we're a little bit quicker than the other boards, so you could take a month and explore these, and you may come up with the same thing, but I just wanted to point that out procedurally. It's a lot easier to get to this board if you want to kind of run some
If we
ideas.
don't get the conditional tonight, like,
Yeah, like if you just wanted to say, you know what, I want to think about it, this is really interesting to me, but I want to take the next month, talk to Ms. Fine about it, and then maybe come to a Tuesday meeting. You could plan as an internal target to get to the next HPC meeting for August. You know what I mean? Like, and you could say, hey, you know what, we tabled it, we thought about it, we're going to come back with our final idea in August, and then you could get a conceptual there. We're not going to slow you down in front of the zoning board, is what I'm saying. Have you submitted yet?
No, we were waiting to kind of.
Yeah.
This is the first.
So even if you submitted today, you're probably not going to be heard until August or September anyway, so, as a practical matter. So I just wanted to point that out to you. You're not going to lose a lot of time.
So I can look online. I have a pretty good website that has documented eras, I'll call it, decades through a building's life. We can go back to 1930s, 20s even. I can see if anything different was there.
I mean, 'cause my father didn't buy till 1919, so.
We've been next to it.
But
our
we've been
whole
next door
lives, and
since
it's always been,
1970, so, yeah.
no front porch.
Yeah, maybe we'll get lucky and find something different, because it does look, I can't imagine that looking that way when it was first constructed.
Right.
So we might get lucky and find something that we can
We
replicate,
can go back and then see if we can.
yeah. And then if not, then we can
look at
talk
you and
about
say,
what
"Look,
option,
yeah."
what
Wanna do
option
that
you want to
then?
go for, yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, okay, so we'll table it. We're going to do some digging and see what we can find, and we just resubmit, basically.
Well,
No,
Ready.
Just to be clear, what we would ask is if you want to explore these options, you just waive the timing requirements indefinitely, and then what that does is it keeps you in queue, and you can let us know when you're ready.
Okay,
But we're not under some shot clock to make a decision on your application at this point.
Okay.
You let us know when you're ready, you could be put back on.
The feedback was great, like, so now we have a
Yeah.
sense of what we.
So we invite you to come any Tuesday morning. The only stipulation is please call our secretary in the HPC office and make an appointment.
okay.
Okay? And we're available anytime from 9 till 11, I believe, right, Kevin? Yeah.
All right, so this application needs a motion to table.
Correct.
All right, so make a motion to table the application, subject to the applicant waiving the 45-day rule.
I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Carroll. Have a roll call vote, please, Brian.
Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Ms. Pasagno,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson Striddick,
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson.
Yes.
Mr. Hamron,
Yes.
Mr. Testa,
Yes.
Mr. Becker.
Yes.
Thank you.
So just as, yeah, one last comment. I think that what you're seeing is some support for the project. Hopefully, this is helping you find a way to be more precise about what you want to submit, which will also hopefully help you with zoning, because then you'll know. Okay? You're very welcome.
I'll
Yep.
look forward to it.
Okay, next application, Cement Ship Incorporated, 1613 Beach Avenue. Do we have representatives from the project?
Mr. Chairman, as this project was presented previously and I recused myself, I'm going to continue to recuse through this hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Testa. Good evening. If you could please state your name and your role in the project, and then the floor will be yours.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Anthony Monzo from Monzo Catanese Delalis, representing the applicant, which is Cement Ship, Inc. It's a corporation that owns property at 1613 Beach Avenue. With me are Dave Schultz, who's the project architect. I also have Hunter and Margaret Cochran, who are the owners of Cement Ship, Inc. I just want to go through.
Welcome.
Thank you. Just want to go through a little bit of history of this, and I'm going to have Mr. Cochran and Mr. Schultz give more detail to that. First, it's a key contributing building located on Beach Avenue in the east part of town. And the applicant appeared before the commission last year.
Twice.
Twice last year. First in, I believe it was July, it was tabled.
That was August, actually. That's okay.
Okay, I think it was a review committee in July. The application was.
Excuse me, Mr. Monzo, could you speak more into your microphone?
Okay, it was.
Thank you.
was presented in August. It was tabled. Some changes were made. Another meeting occurred for a continuation of that in October, and the application was not approved conceptually. And the applicant went back to the drawing board and made some changes to the plan, met again with the review committee just recently, made additional changes, and all the changes as well as the original application materials are in the packet. And specifically, if the changes dealt with a rear east side addition that was visible from Beach Avenue, and that seemed to be the main issue that the commission had. And the changes that were made is, from the previous submission, is that east addition was moved in 2 feet to reduce the size of it. It's still set off the back of the building, so it's not attached to the back, but there's a little bit of separation, but there is an attachment to that. But it can be removed without having any impact on the integrity of the main structure. The other change that was made, as recommended in committee, was some terrace area in the front along with some landscaping. That seems, according to the standards, to be a mitigating factor when you have visibility from Beach Avenue, and that's located in page, I think it's page 54 of the standards, where it says in the first paragraph, additions should be ideally located in the rear of a building to minimize the impact and reduce visibility from the public right-of-way. Additions to the side of a building should be located near the rear, and this one is actually at the rear, and set back a significant distance from the front facade, which in this case that does do that. Then it says landscaping can soften the appearance of a side addition. So I view that as something that maybe is not the most ideal thing, but it can be mitigated with landscaping, which in this case it was. So with that background, Mr. Chairman, I just want to have Mr. Cochran explain his thought process and also explain the changes that were made from the last hearing that was presented to the commission.
Hunter Cochran, 1429 New Jersey Avenue. In your packet, I highlighted the specific areas literally with a highlighter by hand to show what the changes that were made from the last presentation and based on the comments from the architect meeting informally with the committee and based on their comments. So you'll see that in the site plan. I highlighted that. You'll see it in HPC 601B, which is the south elevation. Again, on the east elevation, in addition, the window in top below the gable roof has been changed. It was a half moon shape, and it's now back to a more consistent look, which you all had comments about and we agreed with. And then if you go to the west elevation, there's that similar window that was on that side that's highlighted here because we changed that from that half moon shape. Sorry, that's 604B, proposed west elevation. I highlighted that window because we changed it to one that was consistent with the style of the home. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I also want to point out, Mr. Chairman, in addition to the one concern that the commission did articulate at that last hearing, as I go through the standards for additions, I believe most of them, in fact, I think all of them are addressed in this project. I mean, we have specifically, the addition is differentiated from the principal structure, specifically the proposed rear one-story addition that protruded into the east side was moved away from the back of the building to allow for a separation if it needed to be removed at any point. It's not located on a facade that has significant architectural features. It's a separate addition that's not connected to the east facade of the building. It's subordinate to and does not compete visibly with the original building. The features complement but do not necessarily duplicate those of the existing building. It's a distinct existing structure which maintains the identity of the main building. The roof and exterior cladding have similar material. It preserves the architectural features of the primary building. The one change that was made was actually, I believe, favorable to the commission, and that was the bay window on the east side, which was a bump out only on the first floor. It was extended to the second floor. The bay window was removed, and the original window type of window was inserted along at the first floor as well as the second floor. And the only issue, again, is, that it's visible from the street or the side yard, and that doesn't mean it's not appropriate. Even in the guidelines or in the standards on page 55, there's a photo of a side addition that is subordinate to the original building, with that side addition right at the very front of the house, which is much more visible from a streetscape and street standpoint than something that's way in the back of the building, which is more consistent, I believe, with the standards with respect to additions that protrude into the side yard. So Mr. Schultz is here, and he had presented this application previously, and he went through, I know this is a new application, so it's a new record, so what was testified to previously is not part of this. He can go through it again, but it's all in the plans, all the materials are there. The plans are very detailed and specific. So he's here to answer any questions or explain anything that's not clear. And I don't have anything further to add at this point. Do you want?
I have one little. Dave Schultz, partner in DAS Architects. I don't know if you noticed, but when we met, we had talked about raising the grade and creating a berm, which we've done, but we created a little retaining wall that provides a seating terrace, and that effectively, we think, did the same thing as creating a berm.
It does, I believe.
Okay, thank you.
So, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt your presentation. Are you guys finished?
Yes, we're finished, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so I have, first of all, I want to thank you, Mr. Schultz, for, I think we've met maybe 3 times on Tuesday mornings to talk through some, Yeah.
No, on this project?
yeah,
You're correct. On this project, we've met informally 3 different times.
I believe that is correct, yeah, yeah. So it's been a collaborative effort, is the way I would put it, so thank you for being a part of that. Quick question. Your original submission back in October, and I was not present because I was recovering from surgery, that conceptual application was denied, but it was conceptual. But tonight you have indicated that you're going for final approval. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate. There's no variances with this project. There's no need to go to any of the board, to the zoning or planning board. What would be the zoning board for a variance? So I think this has been presented 3 times now, so
Got it.
So we are
Okay,
seeking final.
that was really my question. You have no need to request a variance or anything of current non-compliance, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hamrin, please initiate our discussion.
Okay, so I think the last session on Tuesday was productive because it did point out some additional elements of compromise, and I think that, given those, I would say, it's much more close to what I envision as protecting, again, that key contributing status in this case. So let me just point out that on page 12, that's where the terms about visibility and the use of vegetation really, I think, comes in and applies. This is kind of the general term for everything. It says, not visible, not able to be seen by a person standing in any public thoroughfare. Vegetation, seasonal foliage, and fencing are not considered as they may be removed over time. So that was where some of the original objections came to, as we were talking about this. The second is on page 55 of the standards. There is clearly a section there where it says what's an appropriate side addition should account for impact on the streetscape. And I remember in the original discussion, that it looked like a pretty big addition because it was intended to be a morning room where, there's a full table and everybody could have breakfast and enjoy the view of the beach. It does, I acknowledge and I agree, it does sit back towards the back of the house. So I think that does probably make compliance with there. It says preserve significant architectural features of the primary building as well as site features, including mature trees. Well, that doesn't apply, but the way the drawing shows of the structure to be added onto the side of the building, I think, in fact, complements the architecture of the building. So, and on this basis, I voted against this in the original review. With the berm creating kind of a rise in front of it, upon which there is some landscaping planned, with moving it in by 2 feet, which actually is pretty sizable in this case. I think that I would agree, I can agree with the addition. I think it doesn't, it's unlikely to complicate the key contributing status of the house. It's a porch on the second floor. I would make very clear that I think if you were trying to do a 2-story addition, this would probably not suffice. But as a porch, I think that's fine. So I think, given it does seem to be adhering to the standards with the revisions that they put in, I'm okay with this one.
Thank you. Bea?
Well, believe this or not, I have not been here for your other 2 meetings. I must have missed those. However, so I don't feel as qualified. I must have spent an hour and a half, talk about an enigma. I didn't have any background information. But from what I could find out and listening to all the accommodations that have been made, I really think it looks terrific. I just have one question. What is the square footage that is being added? Anybody know? I know the house is 4208, something like that, as far as square feet. But you didn't have to go to this. I just thought you might know it off here.
It is, and we'll get the exact square footage, but the calculation was made because it is below the required floor area ratio. This is an oversized lot.
That's what my
It has
question was going to be,
125
right.
feet of width.
Right, but it looks gorgeous, and I'm glad that you made the modifications.
Thank you.
Okay. Although I have a personal concern regarding the massing of this on a key contributing structure, I feel that the beautiful design of this satisfies the requirements of it being subordinate and complementary.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a similar feeling about it. It's beautiful. It's a lovely and really good solution for many of the things that we talked about, and I'm sure it'll look gorgeous when it's done. And also, it's a huge lot, and it's not surrounded by other, talk about streetscape, which is one of the things that we're concerned about. This property is surrounded by buildings that are non-contributing, that have garages in the front that are much larger. So in that context, there's no reason not to make a nice big addition. I don't know if that will actually lose the contributing status. It does seem like a large addition to a key contributing. We generally try to keep things down, but you have a huge lot. Given the position on the street, it's one of those, we're working on updating our historic district map now and bringing in the missing teeth. But this is a tooth that's way the heck down outside of the crowded little part where most of our historic buildings are. So
It's a surviving island at that end of town.
it's a beautiful location, and I can't object to it. I think it's permissible.
The increase in size is approximately 2,500 square feet.
I'm sorry?
Approximately 2,500 square feet.
Thank you.
Is what Ben
Thank
is.
Yeah, we went through this in some detail back in August of last year, as I recall, and then again, because the original plan was to knock out the L and build something entirely new, and then you came back and said we're going to keep it. So that was a whole issue I think we resolved. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt? 2,500 is the entire addition, right? Not just the smaller.
That is correct.
Correct.
Entire.
Because the rest of it, I think we did not really have too much problems with at
Correct.
the last meeting. It was that bump out on the side
Yeah.
that was visible from the street. So I just wanted to make sure, how much square footage is that morning room? Do you recall?
16 by 14,
16 by 14.
or now 14 by 14.
14, yeah, okay.
2 feet less.
Yeah, that matters.
Mr. Carroll.
Thank you. From the very beginning, I've liked what you're trying to do, although it comes very, very close to going against our standards for backyard additions. However, I recognize that it's on a very large lot. You can see it from many different angles to it. The front of the house itself, although it's a key building, doesn't have any really unique features of the shingle-style construction era as some of the others do up there. A beautiful house, very well laid out in perfect symmetric proportions. I think the back that you proposed has some adaptions from that period of time that are kind of bringing that whole feeling into it, and I really like that. It's hidden behind it as much as you can. The little sculptured garden in the front will certainly help, and we are getting rid of that lean-to shed to the garage, which I think is probably the ugliest thing on the property right now. So that alone is in your favor. So I am very much inclined to vote for final approval.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm in agreement with pretty much what everybody said here. The design of this is beautiful. The one thing, because it's, and there's been a lot of compromise, it sounds like, as you're going through it. I was not part of the Tuesday meetings. But the one thing that I'm lacking in this, because of the changes in the actual structure, the floor plans. Has the Tuesday meetings, have you seen the floor plans to match them up with elevations?
No, I elected to not submit floor plans because in my understanding of what this committee's jurisdiction is, has nothing to do with what we do in the interior. It has to do with what the exterior looks like.
Correct, but the only reason I'm saying floor plans is sometimes when you're looking at windows and doors and how that operates with the elevation, that's, I think, the reason why we're looking for floor plans.
Lorraine,
if-
I don't believe anything changed from the floor plans that were
Oh,
submitted.
and again, I was not part of that, so I'm unsure of that, but
The only thing that changed is the cook is no longer as happy in her refuge as she would have been.
But, outside of that, I think, the addition of the landscaping, all of that, I really think you did a nice job designing this and compromising. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine. Mr. Kurtz.
I was not here for the first readings or the second readings, but what I've seen since I've been here is, to me, Cape May. The lot's big enough where you're not overcrowding it, and it just gives that nice warm feeling of what we represent in this town. Thank you, all of you.
Nice job, nothing from me.
Steve.
Nothing from me, John. I think everyone has expressed their intent in a very kind of consistent and thematic way, so I think we're good.
Okay. So before I offer my comments, are there any comments from attendees in the audience? I see there's some people still here that I'm wondering if you're here for this purpose. Okay. So I only have one comment, really. And again, thank you for the collaborative work. The one thing that, since I wasn't here in October, and I didn't see it before, but are you proposing round columns for the front porch? It looks like that's what's being rendered, but I can't quite tell because the label just says wood columns.
Yeah, we are proposing round columns because there's round columns on the side porch. Existing round
On the western
columns on where it's a summer porch.
So
We
that's-
assumed that was the correct approach. The porch is, the porch will be completely new.
Yeah.
If you think they should be square, we're open to
Well,
that. But we thought round to match the columns on the west side of the house.
If in fact those now enclosed porch, right? Because the historic report says that they're square, and that's why I'm confused, because they're round, but the historic report says they're square, and I'm baffled by that.
They're round.
Bear in mind that the front, all the front columns were replaced when the 62 storm came
Correct.
in and wiped out the front porch.
Correct.
If you look at the western exposure, sorry, what's the drawing number? Give me a second, I'll find it for you.
About the west elevation?
604?
Yep.
Yes. 604A would be but it shows square on there.
Right. So that's why I'm questioning this, because it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it appears square in the drawing, but
Yeah.
I don't believe that that is what is there.
It's hard to,
well,
an elevation, you can't tell if it's round, but we have pictures that we could share.
okay, because that whole porch has been entirely rebuilt.
Yeah.
So, and do you have documentation of
Yeah.
what was there beforehand? That would be really helpful. Mainly because the report doesn't say that, and,
We have hundreds and hundreds of pictures. Let me
okay,
see.
great. So I have no concern at all if you have some documentation that they were round. It'd be easy to change them to square, but I wouldn't if you have documentation that they were round.
Yeah, let me see if I can find a decent picture. If you look really closely, you'll see there's a round shape, a little shadow.
Yeah, it certainly looks like the shadow is, yes. That's really odd, because it's in conflict with what their property report says about that west porch. Really odd. Okay, so I can withdraw that comment. I really only have one issue with this at all, actually. I think it's really well done. I'm struggling with how we could possibly approve a final submission tonight, because this is a brand-new application. And it's incomplete because we don't have a full set of floor plans. We don't have all of the cut sheets that would be required for something like this, which would include railings and balusters, the columns themselves, the windows, particularly the Lancet arch light windows, doors, roofing materials. Now, you do have one sheet at the end, but this does not indicate the specific manufacturer, which we're going to need in order to allow for our field inspector to verify that what we've approved is actually what's being installed. So unfortunately, that list is too long for us to give conditional final approval. So I'm going to ask my fellow commissioners what they think about this issue.
I think you're right. We just don't want to get in trouble with our inspectors that are going out saying, you didn't really specify that, and it's coming out a little bit different here. What did you mean? And we've learned the hard way to make sure that we have that. I feel sure that it's going to get approved, but I just think that would help, and that would give us a good final approval.
Ken, I probably know the answer to this, but I was wondering if final can be approved in committee? or whether
No,
it's
that
back
can't
to
be
the
done.
full commission.
By ordinance, we're not permitted to do that. But I would like to ask our solicitor to speak on this issue.
This is really the board's call. If you feel that you have enough to render a decision with conditions, or if you need that additional information. I would just indicate, though, if we're not prepared to act, I think we should give the applicant some direction as to what you all need to determine that this is complete and you can make a decision.
The good news, if there is one, is we saw all that.
I'm
you
sorry,
know.
Kevin, could you-
The good news, if there is one, is that we saw all that
We
in the
did.
previous
We
review
did.
at this meeting. But I think the point is relevant. I mean, you know, it is a new application. You typically want a full application with all the materials in it so that we pass that on to Bruce for his field inspections. And technically, I guess if we give this an approval without those, theoretically, any of those could change, even though I would hope the applicant would not entertain
Correct,
something
that's my
like that.
concern.
So.
Not that I suspect that it will, but that possibility is opened up if we
is
do
always
that.
there. So I guess what I would say is I think probably what we should do is just, I think indicate tonight conceptual approval. I think that's as far as we can go. Ask them to come back with all the cut sheets and everything else that we had, and then we'll render final at that point, presuming nothing has changed and we don't happen to stumble over something we missed.
Thank you. Janice, you have a comment?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a nuisance to come back, but that would be first on the agenda. It's fresh in our minds. We all have seen it this time.
This is an error on my part. I made the submission instead of Dave making the submission as he had all the prior submissions. I didn't realize that we're doing a brand-new application, and therefore the prior submissions no longer applied.
Yeah.
So that's an error on my part.
Yeah, unfortunately, when a submission is denied, it's done, and it's a new submission. It's why this is considered a new submission. Yeah.
We're okay with conceptual approval.
Yeah. So,
And we can resubmit, because they're already, the information's available, can be submitted
exists.
later in
Great.
the week.
Right.
So if you're amenable to that, we don't have, I don't think, any contention up here. I haven't heard a motion yet, but I suspect that this will be pretty easy, right? Our next meeting, of course, is on August 18th, and we can put you first on the agenda.
That, we would appreciate being on the agenda for the 18th of August.
That'd be,
I have to ask the question,
please.
what do we need to submit
Okay.
for final?
So, I made a list when I was reviewing this yesterday, that we need, obviously, floor plans. So, Mr. Cochran, the reason for floor plans is in elevations, there aren't horizontal dimensions. You can use a scale, but there aren't any dimensions on there that we can, right? So it's has an implication on what we're looking at, because in an elevation, it also doesn't show you depth. So that's why floor plans are really important, so we can get the entire picture.
I understand. Listen, the part of the issue here is, if you knew what I had spent already architecturally to get to this point, you would commiserate with my issue, in that I've spent a great deal of money on architectural plans, and I'm still don't have a conceptual approval.
Oh, conceptual
So
approval.
I specifically told him, do not put floor plans in.
Got it.
Because I didn't want the meter running at the architectural firm.
Right.
Well, I have done that previously, and here, lo and behold, here we are. All my submittals from before are useless because we are a new application.
Well, not really, because you do have the drawings already. You obviously have them. All you really need to do is submit them.
I understand and agree. I was just giving you the circumstances behind why you have what you have, as opposed to what you would like.
Got
to
it.
have.
No, it's entirely understandable. What we'd also look for is, if you look at our materials checklist, the second paragraph on the top describes exactly what we need with regard to manufacturer's cut sheets. And I would say specifically, this would be for railings and balusters, columns, windows, particularly given the entirely unique character and configuration of the Lancet Archlight windows. You're saying that you're putting a couple more in. Those are going to be obviously custom made, so we would like to see some documentation of that, right?
Cut sheets or details?
If it's a manufactured off-the-shelf product, it would be a cut sheet.
If it's a Lancet window, it's not going to be manufactured off the shelf.
That's correct. So that's why I'm answering his question. He asked if it's a detail, and a detail would suffice. So he asked me a specific question. Are you talking about details or cut sheets? In this case, it's both, depending upon the product that you're trying to seek approval, for which you're trying to seek approval, right? Okay. And then, of course, the doors and the windows.
And shutters.
And shutters, yes, because the shutters were, apparently, those are added as part of the new proposal, right?
Yes.
Yep. And the roofing. Because I know that you're saying that you're going to use red cedar shingles, right? Well, there are all kinds of red cedar shingles, so we'd just like to see the manufacturer that you're proposing. And that's all I have on my list.
Exterior lighting?
Are you, yeah, of course, you're including additional exterior lighting, correct? So exterior lighting fixtures, thank you. Well, actually, no, that's part of the final submission,
Okay.
right?
Is that why everybody's house is overlit all over town?
Well, hopefully.
Quite the contrary.
We're not concerned with the lighting itself as
Right.
opposed to the fixtures.
It's with the appearance of the fixtures, yeah. And of course, the lamping that are in those, so that we're sure that it's lower than 3,000 degrees Kelvin, so that they're warm as opposed to cold. That's right in our standards. Mr. Testa, you have a comment?
A member of the public be recognized here. I would just point out that our conceptual approvals are in writing, and they contain all these details, so they'll have a complete list.
Correct.
And we would not let a cold light bulb go past our door.
Good for you. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah. Is there anything else that folks
The
feel
ren-
they would be, that you would need to see to properly assess a complete submission?
The renderings and the floor plans have to show the adjustments.
Oh, the ones that they submitted before? Yeah.
Yeah, they had the whole package last time, as I recall, so it's pretty easy to assemble it, but you're going to have to make some couple of adjustments to
Yeah,
show
there's
the
significant
modifications that you
additional
agreed to.
collection of drawings that, and I leave that to your discretion. But the rendering that you showed us in the Tuesday review meetings would be really helpful in this packet, because it would essentially, it would obviate any questions anybody has about the visibility issue. And that's really been the one contentious point.
Understood.
Right?
And I think I know the list.
I think you
well.
do too.
And I know that he'd like baluster details on the roof.
Yes, he
I know
does.
that.
Yeah, we call him Mr. Railing, yeah. Okay.
Ask me.
So with all that said, folks, I would like to entertain a motion for this application.
I would like to make a motion that we get conceptual approval with final approval based on all the additional information that we need for final approval.
And can we just say a complete submission?
Complete.
Correct.
Second, John.
Yep.
Okay. Moved by Mr. Carroll, seconded by Mr. Kurtz. Brian, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Carroll.
Yes.
Ms. Pasagno.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson-Strittick.
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson.
Yes.
Mr. Hamrin.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Is that me?
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Johnson, sorry.
Mr. Becker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for such a great project and for the collaborative work that we've done together.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Thank you, John.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any comments at all from folks from the public before moving on to the end of our agenda here? Okay. Hearing none. The only thing I'd like to bring up for the record is the results of our third alignment workshop. And I'm just looking for my notes here. A moment. Okay. So I sent out to everybody today an email that contained the discussion notes from our workshop number 3, which was last Thursday. And I'm sure you haven't had time to review them yet, but that's fine. But what I would like to do is just, for the record, state regarding that workshop number 3, the 7 primary salient points that we all aligned around, because a couple of them were motions. The first is that we're working on more research about the etymology of the local historic district in order to further inform the amendment proposal, and that we will rediscuss this at the August meeting. Second, we created by motion a standing awards committee to begin design awards, or HPC design awards, for 2026, in conjunction with the 50-year anniversary of the National Historic Landmark District status. 3, we also created by motion a standing community outreach committee. 4th, we agreed to set up a replicable annual process to update the property reports, because that's been kind of hit or miss in the past. 5th, we are taking into consideration the creation of a preservation plan, and we've begun to initiate that effort. 6th, some modifications and standards to, or some modifications to our standards and applications, several of which were raised, but the one that was done by motion that we would like to bring before the planning board is changing the period of significance from 1730 to 1948. So backing up the front end and adding 8 years to the current period of significance. And everyone can read the notes to get a handle on the supporting reasons for that. And then lastly, we agreed to recommend a code amendment so that at the closing of real estate purchases, there is a notification on a certificate indicating that property is within the local historic district. And our fine solicitor is working on creating that document, which we will what? I'm sorry?
I should have something next meeting.
Oh, great. So we will be able to review that at our August meeting.
Just a clarification on the other item, the period of significance.
Yep.
My recollection, and just correct me if I'm wrong, but we wanted to bring that up or introduce that as part of the map amendment discussion.
Exactly.
Two things together.
Thank you for that clarification. That's a good one, right? So that we're not bringing forth two amendments to the local historic district separate from the period of significance, because they're deeply intertwined, right? Okay. So I have nothing further to discuss. Anybody else have an issue you'd like to bring forth?
Yes, John, in regards to the Community Outreach Committee, I don't want to just try to appoint people because we have a lot of very busy people on this commission. So, I mean, what I'd like to do is ask, hopefully for at least, 2 members who would be willing to volunteer, ideally with long-term, like a commitment to the community, access to civic groups, and the business community, so we could really make these events very well attended and get the word out there.
Great. So I guess the only stipulation is it can't be more than 3 HPC
Yes,
commissioners. So you and 2 others, right?
2, yeah.
Anybody
Okay.
B has volunteered to be on there.
That was really fast.
And Yogi has, well, look at that, there you go.
Done.
Is there anybody else? Wait a minute, before we say that,
made my job
we want to make sure that there's not competition here. Does anybody else want to do it?
That thing from John, I didn't get it.
Okay.
Came this afternoon, yeah.
You came, but I can't open the invitation.
All right, any other comments or concerns from fellow commissioners? Tom?
Yes, some plastic machines are starting to appear on our Washington Mall.
Oh, I see it.
And those of you who remember when we had all these different things floating around the mall, selling newspapers and giveaway stuff, we did something to make them outlawed, and they all had to go away. They were on the promenade in the mall, and this stuff is just giving away stuff that is kind of trash. It ends up lying around on benches.
Yeah.
I think we should just tell the city to, please, to keep our area clean and beautiful. You just don't throw something out there for your own publicity. They have to go. And if it came from our commission, I think it would carry a little bit more weight.
So,
Who complains always.
are you proposing that what's the action you're seeking we take?
I would make a motion that we encourage the city to make sure that these unapproved additions to the city property on the mall be outlawed.
Just a quick thing, I'm on the bid as well, the Business Improvement District, and I cross over to that. There have been some, from the city going to the bid, there've been A-frames out there, they've had them remove them. I think we can just do this by just talking to our manager. I think that would be appropriate. And what's that?
It's in a public right-of-way.
It is, and I'll call our manager tomorrow, and I'll talk to him.
So that would obviate the need to create a motion or anything formalized, unless the behavior continues, at which point.
I think so.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Great.
Yep.
Any other comments or concerns from folks this evening?
Well, I just wanted to bring up,
Suzanne.
I was appointed to be on that committee, but I'm
Oh.
thrilled to hear you say other people. No, I don't want to be on too many committees, and I want you to go for it and do it fast and have as much. And I will help, but I'm happy not to be on the committee. As far as the awards committee goes, it's Jake, Judy, and myself as the commissioners.
Yeah, that one
Lorraine.
you're not getting out of.
What's that?
And that one you're not.
I'm not getting out of that one. And we are looking for some people under 50, and we have some leads. And Lorraine and I will do an update at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions, or concerns?
Thank you.
Hearing none, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
So moved. Meeting adjourned at 7:41. Thank you.